Howdy YouTube folks. In today's video we are going to be working on a very old clock. And old, you can see on the back it says Seth Thomas, and on the front it says Seth Thomas made in USA in the dial. It's a very old banjo. I believe these are shelf model banjo clocks, from what I remember right, because I have collected a few clocks here and there, bought and sold them, and it's been a while since I've had too many clocks come in, so I'm not completely up to date on it. But if I remember correctly, these are classified as a banjo shelf model, and I will find more out on that, or if anybody has any information on it. I do know Seth Thomas was one of the major clock manufacturers back in the day in the U.S., so they were a pretty well-known U.S. company. Without further ado, let's get into the restoration of the Seth Thomas. And for these nuts right here, just to clarify before I get started, these are not quite 1/4, which I had been using, but I figured out if you adjust the 1/4 right, you can get it to work. But I think they're in standard size and they're not 1/4, but they're like I think they're around a 6, but I didn't have a 6. Anyways, so that don't go by mine. I know that's not the correct way to do it, but I did make it work because you can strip these nuts, as those of you who are familiar. Anyways, let's get cracking. And I wanted to show you one thing. Notice how small these nuts are. I don't know if you can see that. Probably better if I show you the back of the... Isn't that neat how small they made the nuts on there? Pretty amazing for the time. Well, let's get cracking into Seth Thomas. And this is just to see if it will work. If we can get it freed up and working, because I'm not going to do too much restoration to it. So anyways, back to the restoration video. Now I'm just using a little bit of oil that was out of a WD-40, that was out of a WD-40 can. When you run low, there's a little trick you can do. Side note, you can punch a hole into the bottom, and you can either put a head in there, or you can do like I've been doing and just trying to drain it into oiler cans. And that's what I've been doing. So, anyways. I think lightweight WD-40 and stuff like that is really going to work well for something like this because of the small gears. But I've been known to be wrong on that. Or even white lithium, just because I think those are gears. Now this thing may or may not free up at all. That's what we're going to find out. I think I'm going to have to pop this case. Note before I close out this video that I may have a part 2 on this one. It's fixed further, but I think my synopsis is on this one. We are probably not going to get this working, and the reason being there's two things that happen, or working right off. Reason being because there's two things that happen with clocks. Either this gets gummed up the little knob that you pull for the dot to adjust the dial, because it's stuck in so it can go, and I'm hoping that's the only reason why it's not. And the other thing is that somebody had used this over the years, but they wound it by mistake once, and they blew the spring inside, so it's now open. And I believe this one has double springs on it, and the reason I know this to be possible is because you can see here you have these two round wheels, and I believe there's a spring in each one that sits behind it, wind out separate, versus having one spring that just goes around the whole internal like this, like you normally see, which is more intricate and probably an almost better design because the spring is protected inside of a case versus being open. And I think personally that's something where Seth Thomas did a really smart when they were building these old wind-up clocks, was by doing so, because when you have the spring exposed on these, they tend to be risk to snapping from overwinding or just getting broken if somebody decides to go in there and fix something on it themselves at home and they're not sure what they're doing. They can oftentimes break it, and then that's why it ends up getting thrown out, because they don't I can't fix that, and where am I going to find a spring? So that's that's kind of like a plus about these. And it's not to say if you overwind them that the springs couldn't break in there, but they're just a little more protected under this gear housing, and that's what I like about some older clocks like these, because they really put the engineering and thought into the design of this clock. This is one that I don't think we're going to bring back to life, though, as far as my expertise. I've worked on a little bit of clocks, did oiling and stuff, but I've never done tons of major work to clocks. So I think this is something that's just going to end up going to an actual clock repair person, and this is as far as I'm going to get it. I want to thank you so much, YouTubers, for tuning in to my video of me trying to oil, lube, and free up and see if I can semi-get the clock working, but as of right now, that clock will probably not be working for a long period of time because of just what is wrong with it. And I think I'm just going to end up taking it with my other clocks that I have and bringing it to a clock repairman, because I just don't feel like doing that myself, because as of right now I don't have any of the small enough clock repair tools yet, and I just don't feel like getting into, and my clock parts are limited. If I had more parts and tools I could probably do it, but because I got rid of most of my clock repair tools and stuff like that years ago when I stopped working on clocks for a while, before I recently just picked them back up. I don't really have the time, and I'm good with little things on clocks, but not major restorations. I think I'd rather just take it to a professional, somebody who knows what they're doing, has the tools and time. And, well, anyways, thank you so much, YouTubers, and bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hope you liked this little tinker about type semi-restoration. I will give more updates on this clock, hopefully. Catch you in the next video, YouTubers, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And please comment down below if you disliked my videos to let me know how I could do it better. Keep your heads up, stay strong, all that kind of jazz. Have an excellent time, whatever it is, wherever you are, and bye for now.